Yesterday, in their zeal to try to justify the baseless impeachment inquiry into President Biden, House Republicans once again unnecessarily stepped on a rake when they revealed that in 2018, Hunter Biden repaid Joe Biden for a $4,000 truck loan. And this bombshell fizzled out so spectacularly that yesterday evening and this morning, panicked Republicans have been doing a full court press in the media, going anywhere and everywhere where there's a camera to try to hype up the findings. And the results are hilarious. But before we unpack all that, if you haven't yet, please hit that like, subscribe, and the alert bell. All right, folks, I have several clips to play, but before I do, I just want to remind you, poll after poll after poll throughout the past 12 months has revealed that the American people are not happy with the Republican House majority. They believe correctly that the Republican majority are spending their time and precious political capital trying to pursue BS culture war nonsense rather than produce materially beneficial results for the American people. And even recent polling indicates it. So with that in mind, we have to think about where the Republicans' priorities are. And where the Republican priorities are is this relentless pursuit politically of President Biden and the Biden family. So yesterday we talked about how they dropped their latest bombshell, which is, again, tantamount to a $4,000 truck loan repayment that had been previously reported on. It was a matter of public knowledge as far back as April 2022. But Comer is so desperate to try to justify this impeachment that he will regurgitate information from a year and a half, 2 years ago in the hopes that the American people has forgotten about it and it can be used to justify the impeachment. Now, in terms of his arguments, when it was revealed that, again, this is for a perfectly valid truck loan repayment that you have financial records for from 2018 at a time where Joe Biden was a civilian, this is the argument that James Comer is offering. He's saying, listen, Hunter Biden is potentially involved corruptly, unlawfully with foreign entanglements. So anything he pays or repays his father for whatever legitimate purpose, well, that's with tainted money. And that makes Joe guilty by definition. And this is how beautifully he puts it.
You can loan people money. If they pay you back, then you benefited directly from the influence peddling scheme because
So you can loan people money, but if they pay you back and they happen to be involved with shady things, you're an accessory to that crime, right? It's like if I loan you money and you go out and, I don't know, sell weed or something like that where doing so is illegal, and then you pay me back, I'm basically an accessory to your drug empire, right? No, of course not. That's insane, but that's how desperate they are. But it doesn't stop there. He takes another crack at it.
You got a lot of people, including, here's a tweet from an analyst that says that these are just payments already reported in the media for a truck that Joe Biden bought for his son. He says, I don't think fronting a son money for a truck is an impeachable offense. He says another swing and a miss. Your response to that?
that's bullcrap. Look, if he wanted to send his money to his son for a truck, then send him money for his truck. But he got paid back from China. So it doesn't.
You got to.
I don't even know what he's getting at there. If he wants to pay his son money for a truck, pay his son money for a truck. Well, he did. And then Hunter Biden decided to pay him back. But you're saying that it wasn't Hunter Biden, it was China, and that the whole thing was corrupt, and you've produced no evidence for it. So he's just completely incoherent. But it's not just James Comer, to be fair. It's other major MAGA Republicans, such as Byron Donalds, who basically tried to make a case as well, as incoherent as this is, on the Laura Ingraham show.
Happened monthly. Hunter's defense is that he was paying his dad back for car payments.
Oh, what car? This is a joke. Listen, one of the things, I'm from the banking industry.
So his argument is, what car? This is a joke. Well, it was actually reported on at the time. This 2018 Ford Raptor, the deal made news. I mean, this is a picture of Hunter Biden with the 2018 Ford Raptor, and then you've got the dealer shaking his hand, and then you have Joe Biden behind him. This was widely documented. Again, the New York Post, the conservative New York Post, knew about this a year and a half ago. So we know the truck existed. What are you talking about? But then James Comer's like, okay, clearly the dollar value, $4,000, that's not salacious enough. And okay, fine, maybe there is reporting of a truck loan and maybe it is legitimate. But what if, it goes further than that, what if Hunter Biden and Joe Biden were unregistered foreign agents for China?
The reason we wanted to depose Hunter Biden, we want to say, what did you do to receive this income. If it was in fact lobbying, if he was a lobbyist for China, then that's called a foreign agent, and he's an unregistered foreign agent. And that's a penalty of up to 5 years imprisonment and $250,000 fine. And Joe Biden then was receiving direct benefit from his son being an unregistered foreign agent. So you could make a strong argument that Joe Biden violated the FARA laws as well.
So Comer's new argument is that Joe Biden, former vice president, future president, was in fact an unregistered foreign agent on behalf of China because his son may have been, we don't know for sure, but may have been, and his son repaid a loan that Joe Biden granted him when Joe Biden was not in office in 2018. You see how that works, right? I don't either. But it's, again, not just Byron Donalds. It's not just James Comer. It's also Elise Stefanik, who's the number 3. She is Liz Cheney's replacement. She is the 3rd in command of the House Republican Conference. How would she describe this $4,000 truck repayment? Well,
that I believe will uncover the greatest political scandal in our nation's history.
I heard you.
The greatest political scandal in our nation's history is a $4,000 truck loan repayment from one private citizen to his private citizen father, which is what Joe Biden was again in 2018. And again, we have documents to prove it. Folks, absolutely absurd. I mean, here I thought that Obama's tan suit was actually the greatest political scandal in the history of the United States, but I digress. Now, in response, Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, he has the best take on this when he's asked by CNN, well, what are the potential ramifications?
Pennsylvania, I'm proud to stand with the president.
A final word on this, Senator. House Speaker Mike Johnson has said that Republicans have a duty to bring an impeachment vote to the floor. That would be an impeachment vote against President Biden. What's your response to the speaker?
Oh no, please don't impeach him. Oh my God, that bad man, it's so scary. Oh no. But whatever a weirdo, says about that, it's like, go ahead.
So John Fetterman, as like Jared Moskowitz, is like, go ahead and bring the impeachment. I don't know if I go that far because I don't think these things should be taken lightly. Historically speaking, impeachment votes have actually galvanized the support of the impeachment target. It happened with President Clinton. It happened with Donald Trump. Hopefully, if it does come to that, it will galvanize support for President Biden as well. Last thing I want to show is this thread by Aaron Rupar where they're talking about this truck loan and everything, and they're satirizing it, and some of the tweets here are hilarious. So Aaron Rupar says, breaking, Joe Biden made direct payments to Hunter Biden. Sure, they might have been his allowance in 1985, but still, this is Biden family corruption of the highest level, and we must impeach. Others say, sources say they have evidence of Hunter Biden exchanging Christmas presents with Joe Biden from 2009 to 2018. I don't know how the Bidens will survive this. But why isn't anybody talking about the tooth fairy money? If those payments were made in exchange for chores, that's straight up bribery, and Hunter Biden must be impeached immediately. Hunter mowed the lawn and raked leaves for this compensation. Hunter must never be allowed to be president again. So, I mean, you get the gist. Folks, House Republicans have nothing. I think deep down they know they have nothing. But again, they're committed to this. This is a political death spiral for them. By wading into these waters in the first place, these treacherous, brackish waters, this is almost the inevitable result. If they don't proceed with an impeachment, they will piss off their cult leader, Donald Trump, and the core of the MAGA base, who have been brainwashed into believing that there are impeachable offenses against the president. But they have a 3-seat majority. And 18 House Republicans were elected in districts won by President Biden. So the potential political consequences for them are much stricter. And even if they get the votes, as I said, Biden will not be convicted in the Senate. So no matter what, this seems to be all risk and no reward. But what Trump is hoping for is that the impeachment of Joe Biden, if dragged out sufficiently, can undermine him politically, can perhaps persuade enough Americans, perhaps independents or whomever, to believe that Biden is corrupt enough that it wouldn't be so bad if Donald Trump were reelected, because maybe they're in the same ballpark of corruption, or maybe they just won't turn out to vote at all. And when you have fewer people turning out to vote, that's good for the Republicans and good for Trump. There is sort of a low lizard cunning to what's going on here, and there's a possibility that it could benefit Republicans, but the odds, in my opinion, seem to be against them. Anyway, I just wanted to show those clips, show you how Republicans are so desperate. Now Joe Biden is potentially an unregistered foreign agent of China, and the entire world hinges on this $4,000 truck loan repayment. So let me know what you think in the comments.